Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur. Make crappy videos every day, so subscribe so you can argue with me. And today, I want to talk about Joe Biden's campaign. Bad news. What is it? It's bad news for Joe Biden. Everything's bad news for Joe Biden right now because of Corona. He's kind of had to suspend his campaign. He's campaigning from the basement of his house. Where's Joe Biden, right? He really can't go out and meet people and hold events and dinners and talk to voters like you normally would in a campaign. Might be a hidden benefit for Joe Biden. Maybe the less he's out there, the better. But at the same time, it really hampers what he can do. So he's trying to virtually campaign from his house via Zoom meeting and stuff as best he can. He actually started a podcast, which I did listen to in one of these videos somewhere, as a way to try and connect and outreach to voters. But that's not what I'm talking about right now. Today, what I want to talk about is his vice presidential choice. This is probably the biggest choice of consequence in his entire campaign. Whoever he picks is going to become incredibly important because I have a sneaking suspicion that this campaign, the Trump and the Republicans, are going to make this almost a referendum on the vice presidential candidate because Biden, not in great health, and probably more than anybody else in recent memory, there's a good chance, I don't wish this on anyone, but that Biden may have to step down or may not finish his term as president. And so that's mainly what the vice president is there for, a backup plan, a plan B. But in this case, because of his health issues or questions around his health issues, but he's in perfect health. His brain surgeon told you that. The vice presidential choice is really, really going to be important because there's, like I said, a better chance than most that person could ascend and become president of the United States. It's funny, even had Bernie Sanders been nominated with his heart issues, this would still be a valid concern as well. So people have said this, but for whatever reason, Democrats this year really seem to trend towards old white men as their preferred candidates. So ideally, you would want to pick someone as opposite as possible, which Biden has stated he's doing. He wants a minority person as his VP choice. So either that means a woman or ethnic minority. However, if you look at the what people are talking about in the short list that's emerged, it's all women. No men on there. Sorry, guys. Not happening. And even though I don't disagree with this, and he wants to balance out the ticket, and as a Democrat, being an old white man, you need to, identity politics, you need to put someone else on there to balance Biden out. But I don't know if it was a wise idea to advertise that at first because you've raised expectations, you've really narrowed the field. It's not really on who the best person for vice president is right now. It's just what looks the best. It's popularity contest is what kind of see. A lot of these candidates don't have the greatest experience, and I think he might be regretting that choice a bit now because these aren't really strong candidates in his short list. But he is picking a minority, and he seems to be going for a woman. Asked John McCain how that went. That's kind of what he's shoot himself in, hewn himself in, whatever. He's boxed himself into a corner. So number one on the list is Kamala Harris. Vegas has her as the number one contender right now, and so I guess if you were a betting person, she's probably the one who's going to get it, which is interesting because during the debates, those two did not get along very well. She called Biden out for taking away her buses or something when she was a little girl in school. And so they got into a couple, she did well when she attacked Biden. But here's the thing, when it comes to debates, politically that is all water under the bridge. And what people say and do during that has very little effect right now. Politicians, when it comes to this, usually have short-term memories. And so Kamala Harris, being an African-American woman, checks off all those boxes, but you either like her or you extremely dislike. She's kind of like approaching Hillary Clinton levels of divisiveness, it seems. A lot of people love her, of course, but those that Hader seemed to, there's not a lot of middle ground for Kamala Harris. She either rubs you the right way or rubs you the wrong way. There's a lot of blemishes on her record as a California prosecutor and throwing people in jail for marijuana, but bragging about smoking it, and college, and I guess listening to Snoop Dogg before he was even out or something like that. And there's other skeletons in her closet that I'm not going to get into. But anyway, she would be maybe appealing but risky because she's got a lot of vulnerabilities, and I think her dislikability is probably higher than people might suspect. She just, like I said, seems to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But she's the most minority. I don't know. She has appeal under his circumstances of what he wants. She could become appealing. She's young. She can be she can be very impassionate when speaking, and I don't know. But policy-wise, I don't know. She's in the Senate, but I'm worried about Senate. Anyway, Kamala Harris seems to be the front runner. I don't think that's a great choice. Amy Klobuchar is number 2. One of the podcasts I listened to with Biden actually had her on as a guest, and it kind of seemed to me like it was kind of like a VP interview of sorts. But they seem to be very good friends from the podcast, and they're very chummy with each other. She did very well during the primary season and lasted a lot longer than I gave her credit, or I think anybody else did. She would have a little Midwest appeal, which is something Democrats need right now, with her home state of Michigan, and which I think that they lost last time to Trump. But Amy Klobuchar is not an exciting candidate. She's not gonna, if the microscope is turned onto her, I don't think she would handle the spotlight very well. She seems to be a good person. I don't think people have an extreme like or dislike of her. She's very milquetoast. Is that the expression, right? She's very plain. She not exciting. Like I said, I don't know what to say. She's probably the most boring person on this list. And in politics, I know that shouldn't matter, but hell, it's 2020 right now. You got to get out your vote. You got to appeal to people. And I don't know if she appeals maybe enough. So I don't know. Amy Klobuchar is in second place, but I think her stock might be dropping. According to Vegas odds is what I'm looking for. She's plus 350. Harris was plus 150. Third place is Elizabeth Warren, plus 450. They also did not get along during the debates. She's got a long Senate record. She's got a lot of baggage with things she's said and things she's done. And she also, a lot of people like her, but surprisingly, a lot of people really have a lot of dislike for Warren. Maybe that's because Trump has focused a lot on her while he was president as well with her Native American stuff. She, I don't think, is a good candidate. I mean, hell, she came in like third place during the primary in her home state of Massachusetts, right? If she can't even win like her home state, what does she add to the ticket really besides being a woman? Like I said, is that all we're looking at right now? She's in third place, but I don't see how that really makes people excited. She didn't excite people during the primary. She was in the lead at one point, but I think then when people learn more about her or just maybe heard her talk more, she was real into spending, well, that might fit with Corona now, throwing money at problems and stuff like that, but I don't think she's going to go well. I guess dark horse you could say would be Michelle Obama, who is at plus 800, but has been rising quickly according to the bookies these last couple of days. This is interesting and probably the most dangerous, probably the most valid choice of those four women, just on how strong that name recognition is. She's never really held much offices before. She was, I think, with Obama, like a community organizer, and she's very highly educated, and people love her. Former first lady, not taking anything away. That's to her credit, right? But there's a big difference between I don't know if being first lady qualifies you to be president. And I think that would be a mistake if they put her on the ticket. It would get a lot of buzz, get a lot of hype. It would be a huge shot in the arm. He would get a huge boost in the polls, no doubt, right? And bring back some of those Obama voters. But again, as the campaign goes on, and when we really start to look at maybe the qualifications of people, like I said, I don't know if being first lady helps. She also is a little controversial for some statements, if you remember, she made early on when Obama was running, and her wavering love for the country and just how patriotic she could be. Excuse me. So I think that will come back and haunt her. And again, I just don't think she has much record of all to go on. Again, Trump won with no political record at all. So I'm not saying that is impossible. She's probably, like I said, I think the one that Trump would be the most afraid of. But I think, again, under scrutiny, and if this becomes a referendum on the vice president, while she'd be very popular and likable, I don't, like I said, I don't know if she would be a good leader, just because we're thrusting someone into an office, into a powerful position, who again really has never even sniffed something like that before. It would be odd and interesting, and then Obama would be hanging around. And does Biden want? He's really attached himself to Obama when he was running in the primaries. But do you want him hovering around and calling the shots? I'm sure a lot of people do. Like, yes, please, duh. But is that what Biden wants? Can he be his own man? Does he have to ride Obama's coattails, whatever, all the time? I don't know. Keep an eye out, though, because, like I said, I think her stock will be rising, and she probably make it into the very, very short list. But politically, I just don't know if she has the chops, if she could handle the job, if she's qualified for the job. How far? It'll be interesting. I guess what I'm trying to say is, how far can name recognition get you? How far can popularity get you? And with Trump, obviously pretty far. I'm not denying that. But I don't know. It would be the most interesting choice. I don't know if it's a winning. I don't know if any of these are winning choices. At the very bottom is Hillary Clinton. She's plus 2,000 as a favorite. Unless he's suicidal, don't put Hillary Clinton on your ticket. But does he go with an outsider, someone we've never heard of before? With the list being as kind of shallow as it is, no strong people really, in my point of view. Maybe he goes with an outsider, but again, that's what John McCain tried to do exactly with Sarah Palin, and that did not work out. So I think that would shut that idea down. But if he could find like a really strong, young, minority woman, check off those boxes, who might be like a fresh face, somebody who could, get people excited, especially like younger voters and what, I don't know. It's just, he's in a tough spot because he cut out half the field by focusing only on women, and the ones that are there all have flaws and vulnerabilities, and I don't know if they really help him very much, and I don't know how many would be able to handle being president very well. I'd love to see a woman president one day, right? I would. But I think having it come, I don't know. Having a vice president come in, that kind of cheapens it maybe a little bit. I don't know, whatever. It would make for great TV. Wasn't there a TV show on like that? Wasn't it called Veep or something? I don't know. I don't watch TV. But we will see. I'll wrap this up because I got things to do today, and I know you do too. But probably Harris, but I would watch out for Michelle Obama. Klobuchar and Warren are in the mix, but I don't see him picking either of those two. It just wouldn't be very beneficial, I don't think, for his campaign. He needs to make an impact. He needs to change things up. So Harris or Obama, I think, would be your probably top two choices in my uneducated, rambling point of view. All right. Thanks for sticking with me, and we will see what happens. And I got to go. I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.